I would say that the tide turning on DEI most likely was triggered by the Supreme Court rulings in the
Yes.
affirmative action cases that, which incidentally were not brought by white people. They were brought by Asian Americans who were being rejected at Harvard University because they were considered the privileged class along with white Americans. It's a fascinating situation because they are a minority in the American makeup. While the Asian community is rapidly growing, it is still far less than the number of Black Americans and even much further less than the number of Hispanic Americans. And it's interesting. Do you see any progress in higher education reform at this time? Any examples, good or bad? What are you seeing? And of course, you are at Drexel University. And since I went to Penn undergrad, unfortunately, I know that Drexel and Penn, the two campuses are contiguous. They literally, you don't know when you've crossed over generally between one and the other.
Yeah, that's right. And I feel sorry for you, David. I'm sorry to say you went to Penn. Penn has not gotten any better, probably immeasurably worse, given the events over the last year and a half. I know that you asked me if there's been some change or there will be some reform, and I think, yes, there is, because when you look at my previous book, Brutal Minds, I say in that book that university presidents and the cadre at university, senior leadership, understand only one language that has two venues of it, two veins of it. One is money, funding, and the other, and this is federal funding, but it's also donor money, and the other is bad publicity, which is linked to the other, because this bad publicity can cause a university's enrollment to plummet. It can cause donations to dry up. And no one wants to be in the position at a university going out and facing the public every day and trying to explain away the bad things happening at this particular campus. Well, the Trump administration, through the vehicle of the Department of Education, Office of Civil Rights, and the Department of Justice, are speaking the language that university presidents understand. And this is long overdue. Universities, as you know, have flown under the radar for far too many years, propounding this notional idea that the university hasn't changed. It's still a wonderful, yeasty marketplace of ideas where ideas can contend. No, it's none of those things. It's a crucible of indoctrination, where Marxists and basically, actually, yeah, literally communists who claim to be communists and are very proud of that, basically are formulating or creating cadres for the struggles of the future. Very prominent communist/Marxist theorist Frederick Jameson at Duke said this a number of years ago. That's what the universities are for, to create cadres of a vanguard for the revolutions of the future on the Marxist side, of course. So what we have now, however, is an expose of these folks, bureaucrats, presidents. They are being made to think what's actually happening and recognize what's actually happening on the college campuses. All the protestations and all the pronouncements prior to this were basically lip service to principles of academic freedom, principles of free speech, principles of inquiry, free inquiry. None of that matters worth a whit. Okay, what matters to the university presidents, what matters to the cadre, is the money coming in that supports these lavish lifestyles, that supports a bloated bureaucracy, of which DEI is a very prominent part. I'll give you University of Michigan as an example. Their bureaucracy, which is at the forefront, or I should say was at the forefront until they ended their program last week, at the forefront, having spent $250 million. That's $250 million since 2016 on DEI. With employing over 260 employees that are supposedly doing the work, whatever that consists of, doing the work of DEI. And we find that the top dog, the provost, assistant provost for DEI, her name is Tabia Shavu Sellers, was bringing in $417,000 in salary and benefits as the top.
Unbelievable.
Yes, in fact, University of Virginia, the top two DEI people bringing in more than $500,000 apiece. And the third
Absolutely.
ranking person, yes, the third ranking person is bringing in $405,000. So you effectively have $1.5 million going to three people in the UVA, University of Virginia, DEI hierarchy. What are you getting for that $1.5 million, especially when you should serve as contradistinction to the governor of of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, bringing in $175,000 a year to manage the affairs of the entire
I
state.
know, it's unreal. This is Dr. David D. Schein. Thanks for joining me for this special edition of Saving America. Remember, a new Saving America show is aired on the Brushwood Media Network every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Listen on any of the 16 network stations, Apple or Google mobile app, Apple CarPlay, TuneIn, Smart Speaker, and all smart TVs. Find more information at the brushwoodmedianetwork.com. Please be sure to join us each week. We welcome and love your feedback from our growing audience.